Right along here on Locked On SEC, and this time of year is always a lot of fun. We get to talk with guys who played in the SEC, guys who are getting ready to take their talents to the next level, and a guy who's hoping to hear his name called sooner rather than later is Cam Jackson from the Florida Gators, who is heading into this NFL draft. Cam, thanks for the time, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
Talk to me a little bit about what this process has been like. I know you had the Senior Bowl this offseason, and what was that like, getting down in Mobile and trying to showcase your talent and show teams what you can do?
I say it was fun, getting down there and competing with guys like Walter Nolan, TJ Sanders, Jordan Burch, and my former teammate Princely Umanmielen. So just being able to go out there, have fun with them guys, and playing with them again, and just going to go compete.
Yeah, it's crazy when you talk about how much talent you guys had on that Florida team this year, and it's so much talent going off to the NFL. When you look back on when you were at Memphis and you decided you were going to leave, what made Florida the school that was the right pick for you? Because Billy Napier, I know, he had come from Louisiana, he had gotten to Florida, and there was a lot of excitement about his arrival. But what made you choose Florida at the time?
I say just the tradition, and like you said, Coach Napier, he was at ULL, so he had been knowing me since like my sophomore year, and just the tradition and the team that he was building. And I feel like with me and Caleb, we came and built something special on the D-line the past 2 years. So just coming in and wanted to change that organization around, and I feel like that's what we did the last 2 years.
It was a little flux there too, because obviously Coach Austin Armstrong was there, and he was running the defense. And then last year, Coach Ron Roberts came in to kind of help bring, what he had over at Auburn and bring some new pieces and all that. What was that like, having Coach Armstrong, but then Coach Roberts kind of coming in and adding some extra stuff?
I say it was good to have Coach Armstrong my 2023 season, because he was sending the blitz at people, so like we was getting after people. And when Coach Roberts came this past season, I feel like they let me go more this season instead of just mirroring a center or the tackle or the guard. Like they just let me get off and let me loose this season. And like I said, once they did that, I feel like me, Caleb, Tyreek Sapp, and the other guys, they followed behind us, and we turned. As you can see, when we played Tennessee, the defense changed around a whole lot.
It's interesting, too, your D-line coach, Gerald Chapman, he was a guy that people were after this offseason. I know LSU had kind of talked to him, and Florida did what they needed to do to keep him there, but that's got to be a guy that I think was vital to your development there, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit about Coach Chapman, what he brought to the table.
He brought energy for sure. Like, Coach Chapman, I'm pretty sure a lot of people seen him on Twitter when we was in fall camp. He was just hyped out there. And just, he held us to that standard. And I feel like with him, coming in and holding us to that standard, we played better. And like I said, the D-line showed up a whole lot this season. Mm-hmm. I think when we played LSU, I think we sacked Nussmeier 7 times this past season. So, and then just, like I said, just being able to stop the run. One too many teams just able to run the ball on us this past season.
That, obviously the season, you guys come out of the gates, and it was a rough start. And then when the loss to Texas, you're 4-5, and it's starting to feel like, oh man, this thing could go sideways. But that's when things turned around. You mentioned that it was that LSU game win. Then the Ole Miss win, then the Florida State win, then they go and win the bowl game. I mean, the finish on a 4-game win streak was huge, I think, for the program, because 4-5 to finish 8-5 is I mean, it just gives so much positivity and excitement heading into this next season. But talk about that moment. Did it feel like that was the turning point in the season for you guys when you beat LSU?
Yeah, I say that. When we beat LSU, I knew, I feel like, the team knew then and there, we could compete with anybody. Really, when we played Georgia and we went out there and competed with them after DJ got hurt and he went down, and Aiden had to step in for us, and just with him stepping in and having that type of confidence and doing what he did, I feel like once we went out there and competed with them, I felt like we could compete with anybody. And like you said, the LSU game, that was really the turnaround point. And I knew then, I was like, yeah, we finna go out here and do some dominance to some people.
Well, not only that, I mean, all the conversation at the time was about Ole Miss and they're going to the playoff and all this, and you guys literally take them out of the playoff picture by beating them. I mean, that and there was one where the defense kept making stops, and it just felt like you guys really hit your stride defensively on the backstretch of the season, right?
Yes, sir.
What was it? I mean, was it just everybody getting more comfortable in the system? Why were y'all achieving the peaking at the right time at the end of the year?
I say everybody was on the same page with each other, and I feel like the beginning of the season everybody wasn't on that same page. And I say, people hate to lose, but I feel like the Miami game was a wake up call for us. And when we went on the bye week before we played Tennessee, we was out there we was really real competitive at practice. So like defense trying to beat the offense trying to beat the defense. And went out there, played Tennessee, and when Graham went down, DJ had to step in, and when he stepped in, he stepped in and played a big role for us on the offensive side on the ball. And not only him, but Montrell, Badger, Chim, all them guys, they played a big role on the offensive side of the ball. And we just fed off their energy that Tennessee game, and I feel like they did the same with us.
DJ, it's so fascinating. I mean, highly touted recruit, and everybody was excited to see what he would do. But you had Graham Mertz in there, who's a veteran QB who had been at Wisconsin, and he was expected to take the reins. But when the injury happens and eventually DJ gets in there, man, you could just see the talent. I mean, the 5-star talent, it lives up to the hype. But man, it's exciting to see because it looks like he's just scratching the surface on what he could be. What is Florida going to be this year with DJ taking that next? It feels like we're all ready to see a show with DJ Lagway as he continues to grow and mature, right?
I feel like, if you ask me, I feel like Florida's going to the playoff. They going to compete for a national title this year. Like you said, I'm ready to see him for a full season. I mean, people seen him when he came in versus Tennessee and what he can do. Me personally, I feel like DJ is the best quarterback in college football, and that's just, that's me. And I feel like other people feel like that, but I feel like DJ is gonna take Florida a long way. I feel like the defense is going, they're gonna step up and do their part. Tyreek Sapp, Caleb, all them guys. I feel like they're gonna step up and do what they got to do. But I think DJ he gonna surprise a lot of people this year.
So take me back. You come over from Memphis, and you're a big guy, 300 plus pounds. But even you had to be taken aback when you see big Desmond Watson in there. Yeah. 400 plus. I mean, that's he makes you look small standing next to that guy, right? What was it like getting to meet him and getting to play with him?
So Dez, a lot of people don't know Dez was my roommate in 2023.
Okay.
So that's my guy there. Dez, he the type of guy like you got to get to know him. And
was he stealing your snacks? And I mean, you have to kind of separate it?
No, Dez, he the type of guy, like, once you get to know him, he like to play a lot. So, but Dez real cool. That's my guy for sure.
I just meant y'all are two big guys. I'm sure it's like y'all put down some meals now, right?
Yeah.
No, it's just so funny, and for him to be as big as he is, as athletic as he is, I mean, to see a guy get off his burst and all that, I mean, it was phenomenal. That's what I think everybody drew to what he could do. But man, just all you guys on that D line seem to get better and better. And obviously, you mentioned Amon Allen and how good he got, but I think that to me is what stands out when I watch Florida these last couple of years, is just how much better you guys got on line. What about Jack Pyburn? He's going over to LSU now. What do you think he's going to do over there?
I feel like Jack gonna go over there and do because he helped us out a lot last year too. I know how Jack is once he get on the field. He like a maniac out there. So I feel like Jack gonna go over there and he gonna have a breakout season this season. And I'm ready to, I'm gonna be watching him, tuned in with him, just keeping up with him. But I feel like Jack gonna go over there and have a real breakout season for LSU this year.
But on the Florida side, you got a couple guys coming back. Those Sapp's coming back,
yeah,
right?
Sap.
I mean, there's a couple guys that that room's not empty now. Yeah, you guys are leaving, but they're still pretty loaded over there, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to see what Florida does this coming year. You mentioned playing Miami. You played Cam Ward week 1. He's expected to go number 1 in this draft. Is that crazy? Did you know when you were playing Miami like that this could be the number 1 pick in the draft?
Yeah, I kind of did. Cam, he's a good player, real competitive player. He's a guy who, when we was out there, we had a few words with each other. I enjoy playing against Cam. Ready to see him get drafted tomorrow night, and ready to see whatever team he go to. I hope he can go out there and help a team win, which I feel like that's what he gonna do. But it was exciting getting to play against Cam.
What was the intel for you when you were at the Senior Bowl and you start talking to some of these teams and start finding, the reality starts to set in? I'm going to the next level. What was some of the things they said you that they liked about you, and what are some things you maybe needed to work on in your training and everything to get ready for that next level?
I say some things I needed to work on was probably just reacting to run, pass, transition, but the things they like just me being dominant, how I run to the ball, and me just being aggressive. So. Which there's not gonna never change. So
can't coach effort. This is what it is, right?
Yeah.
What was that? When they're measuring you and all this stuff, I mean, it's almost like you feel like a piece of meat at a certain point, right? Because they're just running you through the ringer. And then the medicals. All my buddies have been through it. They're like, God, they check everything on your body, right, to make sure everything's good.
They do at the combine.
It's a process. What's the plan for draft night? How are you spending it?
I'm gonna celebrate with my
draft
family.
Weekend now. It's several days. So.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be with my family. We're gonna be at my uncle's house. So, like I said, just getting ready to wait for my phone to get called, and then gonna go from there.
It's an exciting time, man, and we couldn't be more excited for you. It's always fun to watch these guys. We're at SEC Media Days every year. I go to the Manning Passing Academy. It's so fun to see all these guys from, coming out of high school. You're highly touted. You go to college. You put in all the grind, all the sweat and tears, and this is the payoff. This is what it all pays up for. So really appreciate you taking some time, Cam, and best of luck, all right?
Yes, I appreciate you.
All right, we'll have more on the show coming up right after this.